we are looking at an edge where AI is taking shape.
It notices your behavior, and based on your behavior and your history, then it's able to give you like some of the impulses you can do.
You can make friends with a robot.
You can make friends with a robot.
This gentleman thinks in ones and zeros. He thinks in binaries.
Data is the superpower. Without the data, then definitely the technology is going to fail. AI is supposed to come and accelerate our education system, especially in terms of research gaps that we've been having for decades. The knowledge base has been democratized and everyone can access anything at whichever point. Then it means like we can easily be experts of anything.
Experts of anything.
Yeah, and everything.
And that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good, definitely.
Thank you for tuning in again to the Executive Review Podcast and keeping in conversation with us. For a while now, we've been talking about the artificial intelligence, how it's evolving and how it's affecting our livelihoods. We have looked at many aspects of artificial intelligence, especially in how it's playing out in Africa as a continent. And we also looked previously at the AI model, how we can build AI models that work for us as a continent. Now today, we are having, again, Edmond Wabwire returning to this podcast to give us a lot more about artificial intelligence, and this time, it's about the good and the ugly of this innovation that is in our age. I am Rick Okinda, always a pleasure to host you, and Edmond Wabwire, always a pleasure to have you on this platform.
Thank you again for having me. So just by the fact that there was this opportunity or this chance for us to come and have this conversation of the good and the bad side of AI, you can think of it like the side of like Satan and the Jesus side of this innovation. So it got me thinking, and I was like, I have to be here and just maybe get to help our listeners to get to understand the extreme sides of what these innovations look like. Because at the moment, it seems like everyone tends to have picked a side. If you are on the bad side, you are extremely on the bad side. And if you are on the good side, you are extremely thinking optimistic about it. So I'll want just to talk about it and how it looks, the good and the bad side, and we see which one actually supersedes the other, and we see like how the world could maybe mitigate the ugly side and make even the good side even better. I'll just want to say, for example, like and use this analogy in terms of just opening us in terms of as we talk of this. When you give a power so, for example, to a small child, right? They will definitely orchestrate tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when you give it to a carpenter, you'll have a house.
You'll have a house.
Yes. It's the same thing.
Same tool.
But two different
results
and very extreme results.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how you want to use it and who has it and at what time. So a carpenter had it. We have a house, very good house. Yeah. A toddler has it. It's a tragedy. Yeah. So that's exactly how it looks at the moment in terms of the usability of the technology you have on our hands. So we have two different sides of people. Depending with how people have been brought up and how they want to use it to their advantage, then that's exactly what we're looking at.
Wow. That's Edmond Wabwire, one of the most passionate people about AI that I've ever met. Now, Edmond Wabwire is a data and AI expert, and he does this with a lot of passion, and I'm sure by now you guys know because you have been following this conversation. Something about Edmond Wabwire is that this gentleman thinks in ones and zeros. He thinks in binaries, but he is very human because you have also met off screen, and he loves engaging with people and knowing and seeing people getting transformed.
Yeah.
In today's conversation, we are going to start as tradition with some quick fire questions, a bit to understand you more.
Yeah.
We've known a bit about you, but we want to know a little more about you.
Okay.
About you.
Yeah.
Today you are dressed like a prince. Who's your designer?
Yeah, I have someone in Eldoret, maybe called Guru Sartorials. Yeah, he does most of my outfits, and he's very good in terms of coming up with something that really fits you. So yeah.
Wow, that's really good. They're doing a good job.
Yeah.
And what music do you like?
Trust you me, depends with the time of the season. For example, in the morning I could be listening to old school R&Bs.
Yeah.
But during lunch hour I could be listening to rumba or country music. Or like I'm versatile, but I like
when it's time for reggae, you do reggae.
I do reggae, definitely.
And you can still do rumba.
Yeah, I can still do Roomba.
And the other time we went to Mombasa with a group which we share.
Yeah.
And we were listening even to Swahili songs.
Yes.
I think you are very versatile and very adaptive to environment.
Yeah.
Tom or Jerry? This is about that old movie that we saw with cartoons.
I don't want to choose because I love them both, because it's the combination of them both that makes the play even better.
That makes the play better.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'll go for Jerry the Mouse. Jerry was the mouse.
Yeah.
And also there's another one called Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Those are things that made our life.
Yeah.
But today now we are looking at an edge where AI is taking shape.
Yeah.
And the kind of things you are seeing as toddlers, as young people, we are seeing them at a bigger scale today.
Yeah.
And that's where we want to begin the conversation of the day. That is artificial intelligence, the good and the ugly side. I don't know which side you want us to begin with. I'm the kind of person who likes finishing with the most beautiful view of the whole creation that we've been putting up.
Yeah.
But for the sake of this conversation, allow us to begin with that beautiful side, the good side of artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So on the good side of artificial intelligence, that's just the same way I have used the analogy of giving a power saw to a carpenter and you have a house.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's the same
So
idea.
in this case, the power saw is the artificial intelligence.
The tool we're talking about is the artificial intelligence.
Good.
Yeah. So imagine now you give this carpenter, which is maybe could be anyone, it could be you or the listener. So if the listener has this tool, they could use it to their advantage to make even life better. So we could start it in this space, for example, in this realm. So AI in different perspective or in different departments, such as maybe the healthcare, education, transport. Or you can think of all these sort of ministries and departments that we have around. So when we integrate like AI in such departments, then we get ourselves in situations where maybe, for example, let's start with healthcare. So let's assume AI has gone into healthcare. And mind you, healthcare like has also massive amount of data, right? Yeah. And that's the superpower of actually AI. So diagnosis of
data
diseases,
is the superpower of AI.
Yes, it is.
You know, in military, the superpower is the armory, the ammunition, and the kind of soldiers that you have. And now you're giving us a new perspective to the war that we have here. It's data actually owns the powers. Okay.
So data is the superpower. Without the data, then definitely the technology is going to fail. Yeah. So in the healthcare sector, as I was saying, you will find, for example, when people or doctors actually trying to diagnose diseases, and they are maybe put in different contexts. For example, they didn't go in specific context. So you will find they will not easily identify some of these things because some of the nuances that really occur. But you give that form of data into AI, it's easy for it to even identify patterns, such as maybe things that maybe are cancerous, identifying some of them early, giving you solutions early, and by then we get into a situation where maybe we are able to save lives even faster or better, and even it goes further as maybe recommending some of the foods you need to eat and dieting, so that maybe it helps you to be better or helps your healthcare to be better. And even reminding you some of the times, for example, you need to take water. And some of these things have already been embedded into our daily activities or day-to-day activities. And that's some of the good sides of AI. Yeah. So that's maybe just speaking on the side of healthcare. Now, when we go to maybe, for example, on the side of education, you can think of it now like that's your personal tutor. And I know most of the people, maybe most of our listeners have like a personal relationship with some of these chatbots, where maybe it has most of their secrets than what their parents or their partners knows actually. And I feel like with that, with these chatbots really knowing you, like in terms of how you tend to react or asking advice on different contexts that you have been exposed to, then it's like your personal tutor or your personal therapist or your personal something. And by then it means like you're able to gain some knowledge on some things that you didn't know. And for example, like small children right now, like they can use some of this platform to just better or be given like very customized tutoring for them to be better. That's in terms of maybe education. Then we could go, for example, also in another industry such as maybe transportation. We could improve in different aspects in terms of transportation, for example. Before even you think of moving, like you could check the weather, know how to dress.
Even your car can tell you if your seatbelts
Yes.
are not on.
Yes. Yes.
You can be able to see if you are driving so close to the next to the person driving ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I think that's
so
good.
so with that, it reduces some form of accidents. It saves life. It saves your time. It even tells you, like, for example, what's the approximate time you're supposed to arrive. So it even like helps you in terms of scheduling and all that. So those are some.
Actually, it's a friend of mine whom we've been working with a bit, especially in our international travels. He tells me in some of these leading cities like New York and London and the major cities, there's a significant number of drivers who drive around on Google Maps because they're new in that city and they don't know. And that is AI. And also when you look at how the street lighting work, I think that's all work of AI in transport.
So with that, it means like it's able to make our lives better, like and even like improve like how we would want to have experience in places maybe we are not familiar with, or in situations maybe that are newer to us, and AI is already been trained on that form of data. So those are some of the advantages, and you could even scale it further and make it even better. Like it could be go even like, for example, let's bring it back home maybe to Africa. It could go as far as maybe like if we innovate something that speaks to our local languages even better, in the sense of when these things actually speak to our languages, you are able to like have real interaction even if you're not learned. Then it means like you are able to gain some form of insight and have someone that maybe you can ask some of these questions or interact with that when you don't really have anyone else to do that with.
You can make friends with a robot.
You can make friends with a robot. Or
I told you guys, this person reasons in binaries, is in ones and zeros. But yes, he's also a human being. We're having this conversation because we want to really understand the good things that AI has brought. And so far, I think, Edmond, you have spoken about education and having personal tuitions. We have also looked at transport, which is quite a big revolution with AI. And we're also looking now at healthcare.
We can go to banking, maybe and finance, which actually you're very good at.
Actually, my first job after campus was in a local bank in Kenya, commercial bank in Kenya. I had a short stint at banking before leaving. Probably if I was a bit more pro artificial intelligence, I would have worked longer. But I didn't like how the system was running. But looking at banking, what are the critical aspects of banking that really bank on artificial intelligence to thrive?
So mind you, like, for example, like banking also like tends to be a great orchestrator of massive amount of data and information, right? Like we have a lot of clients logging in, doing transactions. Like we have billions of transactions maybe in a day, maybe in Africa. So those are massive amounts of data, and it's so hard for a human being to actually see something or some patterns when some things happen. So, and data being the gold mine or the superpower of AI, when it comes in and you plug in the tool just as this power, so you're trying to build a house, maybe as a carpenter, then you are able to detect some of the things that maybe are not normal when they should not be happening. For example, there is side of the fraud. So AI can help the banking sector detect some fraud or some anomaly that maybe happen and they should not be happening, and they are able to take maybe mitigation measures very early. So those are some of the advantages that it comes with AI, maybe in the finance sector and the banking sector. And we can even think of it in terms of predicting, in terms of forecasting, budgeting, and those form of things, and even in terms of competition analysis. For example, you could anyone that actually uses this technology, they tend to gain some form of advantage to their competitors, in the sense of they tend to create some personalized interaction with their customers, such as maybe most of the systems or the AI systems we have. For example, you could be it could be as easy as you maybe logging in one of your socials on your website, like searching maybe you need a new shoe.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you log into another platform, you have all recommendation of shoes that you can choose on from. Those are some of the recommender systems or recommender agents that have been engineered to actually like give you that customized experience when you are going through some of these platforms. So on the banking sector, for example, based on your credit score, based on how you interact with money, then it's able to categorize you and give you like a customized product just for you. So that with that, it means like the bank is not able to go liable in terms of losses, and also you as a customer, you're able to access some services that actually surfaces some of the needs that you need as an individual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, also looking at these sectors, I think there's one more interesting sector that I've personally interacted with on AI.
Yeah.
That is logistics.
Yeah.
There's a time we were sending parcel
Yeah.
from one city in Australia to another city in Australia.
Yeah.
And when we went to that DHL store, there are always limits as what size in terms of how bulk your luggage should be, the size, the measurement, and even the weight. And it varies from, and it also affects pricing and categorization of how your cargo will move. And the whole process was handled by a robot. And from detecting the luggage and knowing if the luggage is safe for transportation and everything. And I was really impressed by that. And I think there are many more other industries, even still in the transport sector. If we can be able to achieve one day a situation where, if let's say you're traveling from Nairobi to a place like Calgary in Canada, and you're going to transit through, let's say, France, once you clear in Nairobi and your fingerprints are taken and your luggage is checked in, you don't need another step of clearance in France before getting, let's say, to Canada. It should be able to be seamless. I think those are the kind of things maybe you're looking at on the good side of AI.
For example, to just say, for example, in the logistics, we could go as far as what you have mentioned, and even like using maybe our facial recognition. Maybe we don't even need to use our fingerprints, right? And we could even improve some of the things maybe that we are talking about. For example, maybe a car has committed an accident or has committed a crime somewhere. It's as easy as some CCTV cameras capturing somewhere, and that raises an alarm to actually security forces to actually identify some of the like to identify where the culprit is, and it could be as easy as that. So we could take it anywhere, and we could take it to whichever angle that we want to take it, and with that it means like we're able to better our lives, and as much as it's not like doing total surveillance to actually to the people, then it's actually in terms of good. And you could even jump further and go even to agriculture, for example, especially here in Africa.
I know many of the viewers will be very keen on that.
So in agriculture, for example, you'll find, for example, I've seen a couple of people even like implement the drone, AI-powered drones, in the sense of like drones are able to capture video like in massive amount of acres in terms of crops.
Aerial monitoring.
Aerial monitoring, yes. And it gives in terms of insight some of the lacking of in terms of nutrients, if it's water and stuff like that, then it's able to give the farmer like capability to know like what's supposed to be intervention that's supposed to be done, so that the crops are able to yield maximum products for output. So those are some of the things that we're looking for, and to go as far as even thinking and weather forecast before even planned. For example, you understand like really the rain is supposed to start this time rather than the guesswork that we almost do, and you find most of the farmers go a lot of losses after they predict wrong and they have planted massive amounts of land and the rain really doesn't come.
Wow, so that basically means AI, the good side of AI, is transforming lives and is making lives much better
at scale.
Yes, at a very huge scale.
Yes.
Now, we are going to have an election in Kenya in 2027. I want you to speak a bit about that, because many young people out there really want solutions to credible, verifiable elections.
Let's talk of it in the side of the good side, because I don't want to create, for example, like people using it to the advantage to actually get their ill goals. We can talk about that like later. So the good side of that is how IBC can actually leverage AI involves some aspects such as like understanding the voting pattern of some regions, and like having like customized campaign in those regions that maybe have low turnout voters, ghost voters, and stuff like that. Because like AI has, as I said again, like data is actually the superpower of AI. So with those form of data and data points or information, then AI is able to detect some of the ghost voters, maybe the voters that were registered that are really not legit or Kenyan citizens, and even identify them and remove them from the
voter
register. And it could go as far as maybe like identifying voting patterns that have been happening and giving maybe customized needs. For example, maybe it could be as a result of some of the polling stations are far away from the voters, and or what are some of the supports that actually the voters will need to ensure that maybe we have a higher turnout voting, so that maybe some of the voting or some of the low turnout regions, people do not use it to their advantage and submit those as their newly gained votes. So it could also, like, the IBC could approach it that way, and it could go as far as even thinking in terms of having very systemized AI-powered system, in the sense of it's able to predict some of these patterns, and also like give these insights in real time. For example, maybe in terms of counting. So when someone has already voted, it's broadcasted live. So we don't need to wait or anything. So immediately a vote chunks in, it's reflecting on a screen somewhere, and we are all seeing how it's going. So those are some of the potential that we could see, and some of the far-fetched positions that we really need to get into. So for example, when you go and vote now and you see how it's reflecting immediately, definitely you will trust this thing is actually doing the right thing. Then it means it's still instilling that trust into the citizens, and citizens will be able to trust like the result that will come out of it. So in the sense of this
actually, on that thought again, the US is one of the countries that is already implementing email kind of voting, because you're able to vote via email, and when you cast your vote on email, it can show who is already leading. And that really helps to see who is already ahead of the other, and by what margins, and which regions are giving this person votes. I think it's something which we should be able to implement as a country. But another area that is quite very divisive and requires maybe some solutions through AI, when you talk about the positive side, is football. In football, again, there are so many people with interest. There are people who are serious fans of certain teams, but you also have people who put in money to betting in the outcomes. How can AI play a role in cleaning up this space and making sure it works for its users?
So there is AI playing out in the advantage of now the bookmakers, maybe the people that have this corporation as companies that actually have these betting sites, and there is the AI that works for the fans, like in the sense of the fans like knowing exactly how it will happen and betting how it will happen and them winning some money and all that. The same way it recently happened maybe here in one of the World Cups here in South Africa, where the octopus was the AI there.
They called it the Quasar. Actually, the octopus sat on the Spain side, and Netherlands lost. It was Spain versus Netherlands kind of final. It was not, because by that time Netherlands had made a very good effort, very close to the finals. And I think Netherlands is one of those teams that for more than 4 years, 4 series of World Cups, it has always made it to the quarters and above. And yet it lost.
I think it was more complex, because for it to have predicted like that, and even from the group stages and all, it was quite interesting, especially for the African World Cup that actually happened. To just maybe demystify like maybe some of the output that's being said with most of the AI models is, I will just give like context in terms of what it looks at. For example, like a model will look at maybe the stage of the management of a particular team. How has it been managed, like across the development of the youth, and the current stage of the domain of players, for example, like where are they playing, what are their red cards, like how are they injury prone before World Cup, during World Cup, and how have they performed before, like the recent history, and what does actually history say about them. and what are the chances that odds or advantage that they have depending with the journey they have, maybe the group stages that have been placed at. So it's a lot of dynamism and a lot of such scenarios that and those patterns that actually AI goes in and digests that information and uses it as its superpower, and it gives us what's likely to happen.
In short, the artificial intelligence bots are super hard workers when it comes to analysis, because they look for all the information and they analyze and they make a decision.
And they make that pattern and they recognize it and they say this is the next possible, probable happening.
Yeah. And another sector that I want us to look at is e-commerce. E-commerce is something which I think is shaping up our world. How does it work? We have seen companies like Amazon and Jack Ma's company being able to literally implement a new way of shopping. Be able to know what you want to purchase and where you want it delivered and the price points. Kindly help us understand how these e-commerce platforms are working.
So it's so easy in the sense of it notices behavior on this platform.
So that's still on the good side.
Yes. It notices your behavior, and based on your behavior and your history, then it's able to give you like some of the impulses you can do actually, so that the company can get money, right?
Okay,
So for example, it will notice your behavior. Maybe you like shopping during this time of the month. Like for example, you get salary during this time, then you get excited, you go search some things. They're able to pick those behavior. Then when you go to those systems again, or to those AI-enabled systems again, it's able to give you some of those recommendations, and easily you are going to fall trap into purchasing some of those things.
So is that a positive or a negative?
So it's a positive thing to the company, but a negative thing to the mass. That's what I'm saying. Like you give.
It's still a power source.
It's still a power source. So depending with who is holding the saw, then it's either positive or negative. Yes.
Now, Edmond Wabwire, we live in a generation where people are very entrepreneurial, and companies are really rising, because people are able to pick up AI and do stuff. Kindly also help us look at that, maybe whether it's from the positive side.
So from the positive side in terms of entrepreneurship is, at the moment, like we have individuals at the moment, like maybe they could have an idea of something, right? And they stand a really good chance in terms of implementing it and getting into fruition, like as a one man. Or as a single person.
One man kind of army.
Like solopreneur or something.
Solopreneur.
Solopreneur.
You are the everything.
So you are able to run like maybe a mini startup that could be run with maybe 15 people at the moment. So that's the power that comes with AI. Like you can delegate it to submit some of your procurement needs. You can delegate it to do some of the things in your entrepreneurial journey. For example, it could do your proposals. It could write your emails. It could do all those form of things. And it could even build you a website and even your application that you really need. And all you need to do is find the market or the niche that you really need. And these things really works for you. But if it was maybe 2015,
you would have to work with a big crew, big team.
Big team, and definitely you could be charged heftily. And most of the time you find, especially those experts, not easily available. That's why maybe it was so hard to see a sprawl of startups or a sprawl of ideas actually coming into fruition. So what I'm envisioning with how AI is coming in terms of now, like how the economies are going to boom, is like people will go into entrepreneurship, and people will try things out, and they will fail fast, and they will learn fast. So
wow, good to look at all these benefits. The good side of artificial intelligence. And you say that it is a soul that depending with who is holding it, it can be good and bad. And for sure, you have helped us to analyze a number of industries. And now I want us to look at the ugly side of artificial intelligence. There are certain challenges that I'm sure never existed in the world until we started having AI. It's like saying before war, there was peace. But when war came, we got freedom, but there are things we lost. Maybe you can help us understand the ugly side of artificial intelligence.
So if this power so gets into the hand of a toddler, so this is someone maybe who has ill intention or does not know how to use this technology or this tool, then definitely we are orchestrating disaster. So you can imagine, for example, you can start in a couple of industries, right? So imagine, for example, with the coming of AI, everyone has been an expert to any form of field, right? Right, like right now, like you could find like someone maybe who is doing maybe therapy can easily say I can do accounting. So because they can prompt AI and it gives them some steps and they can implement, right? Yeah. So those are some of the risks that have actually come with introduction of AI. And when you go to health sector, then we have some quack doctors coming up and saying they can really practice some of these things and treat people. In the sense, you'll find some memes going around, maybe in the socials. You'll find people saying, like, you guys take care of yourself because the current law that's coming out of the education system is ChatGPT oriented. Then it means like we don't have that trust in them. Like they don't have that information because they would wanna go and query your symptoms and see like what you could easily be suffering from. Then they treat you based on that. So it means like we have raised a problem there where we are making a lot of experts based on these tools that we have that are really not experts. Then it means like if we get it wrong, or if the AI technology gets it wrong, then we get it wrong at scale. Then that's a real problem.
That's a real problem.
Yeah.
The problem is magnified.
Yeah, magnified. Yeah. So that's one of the things that never used to exist. In the sense, if you didn't know a domain knowledge specific, then you didn't know. But right now, it's the knowledge base has been democratized and everyone can access anything at whichever point. Then it means like we can easily be experts of anything.
Experts of anything.
Yeah, and everything.
And that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good, definitely.
You need an expert at something.
Yes.
Okay. They say you can be a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And a master of
nothing.
And a master of nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. So which other maybe challenges are we seeing that have emanated from artificial intelligence invading our spaces? Yeah.
So invading our spaces, definitely I could easily take it as closely to your phone books, to closely to your contact list, to closely to whichever, to maybe to your IoTs, in the gadgets we use. And you'll find, for example, like some of this system have gotten smarter in terms of tricking us, or in terms of getting us into believing like maybe we're not being lured into like being stolen from. Then it means like that's a disadvantage that comes with it, in the sense of that never used to exist, right? And most of the gadgets, also most of the inboxes, maybe we could talk of maybe our G Suite, maybe the inbox in our mail, like had already raised some of the domain or normal algorithm that could know this is actually something that's coming from fraudsters. Yeah. But now the fraudster side have gotten smarter, and it's now like bypassing that, and it's able to drop into our inbox, and it's just like by matter of clicking and able to look at it, and most of your sensitive data goes, and you're able to fall victim into these activities. So even though like at the moment we are like fighting that form of risk by also having this system be able to identify some of these fraudulent activity that comes from the side of AI, like using AI to counter AI. Yeah, so it means like all of these supersede on the side of good side, or the bad side is also having this side of good side or the bad side, like developing at the same stage. As much as things have been changing, things are still remaining the same. Yeah.
Wow, that is something I think which needs to be addressed, especially on mitigating the negatives. I wonder if there are also challenges that this artificial intelligence development is bringing to the new generation, the children, in terms of them being unsafe and changing how they're developing. Maybe you can talk about that.
So in terms of like children development, for example, even there is a research that has been done I think in one of the countries abroad, and I think I don't remember the country specific. I was reading that paper, and it was basically saying like they did like an A/B test of kids that maybe are learning with AI and kids that are being taught with teachers and just using pen and paper to just like maybe write and like internalize these things as they grow, and the ones that are fast paced with AI or self paced with AI.
Yeah.
And it came to realization that brain had to develop faster for children that were use this ordinary or original format of learning, such as using the pen, the teacher, and all. The brain developed better and than this other form of learning, AI-enabled learning. So you'll find some countries who are already starting to embed AI into their system, education system, and having this technology help in terms of tutoring students. But some of the countries have started to revert some of those things because of some of those tormenting stage of what comes with it. But how I think of it is I think we need to let our children develop fast in terms of their brain before we expose them into these things, because it's supposed to accelerate something they already know. But at this stage, when you expose them very early, they don't know much, and we're exposing them to already a large scale form of thing, and I think it torments them in terms of dopamine access, in terms of them like getting to know a couple of like massive amount of things at the same time, rather than just like taking it step at a time. Then when they are, maybe their brain is fully developed, then you can actually expose them into this sort of events. Because actually AI is supposed to come and accelerate our education system, especially in terms of research gaps that we've been having for decades. With AI, it's going to get there, and it's going to help us maybe like accelerate some of those research, and we can be able to even get some of the medicinal value in terms of getting the drugs for diseases that have been in existence for the longest, such as maybe the viruses and all. I think those are some of the things we need to look at as we think of this.
Yeah. And also I think there is a lot of effect when it comes to insecurity in the financial services sector. Whether you are making an online payment using a gateway payment platform, or you are doing a transaction, or you are having your money in the bank, or maybe you are purchasing stock at the capital markets and crypto. What are the risks? How is this thing affecting how we look at money in the digital space?
So AI is just an accelerator of already what's in existence, or it's just like a scaler. So
in other words, fraud was already happening.
It was already happened, but it's just magnified.
It's being magnified by AI.
Yes.
And that's the ugly side of it.
That's the ugly side of it. So most of the things used to exist. The problem is now this is now bringing it in scale. So the same way like AI in terms of the good side can do stuff in terms of scale, the good side can also do stuff in terms of scale in terms of the bad side. So depending who the orchestrator or the person who has the power, so then the scale still could happen. So that's basically what we need to be aware of. And at the moment, as I'm thinking of both the good and the bad side, I'm feeling like the world could be running faster than the people are, or few individuals are actually running faster than the world. And I think we need to be aware of that. And I don't know how we are going to make sure that we walk this journey together so that AI could be for good, because I am pro good, and I feel this technology is going to help us to live better and experience this world better, and even like do research of other ecosystems and galaxies if they exist, and just help us discover even more things we already know. And
I wonder what role AI will play when and if the dreams of space explorers come true. When it comes to trying to make discovery in the lunar, in Mars, the stellar and the solar system and beyond. Because for sure human beings are not yet there. But robots are being sent to those destinations to collect data and to feed human beings
Yeah.
back here on Earth
Yeah.
to make decisions about those
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
I don't know what you see in that space.
So those are some of the advantages that comes with this. Maybe we could be living in this galaxy, and already there is some form of galaxy, because at the moment we think like we have like 8 planets, because recently Pluto was excluded because it doesn't fit to be among the parts of the planet.
Yeah.
And what actually defines a planet, it was recently excluded. And I feel like that's what comes with the advantage of having some of this technology. Like you don't need to risk a life to come to notice something or to identify a research gap, but you could use this technology and lose some form of few $1 million and actually have a light bulb goes on in form of us understanding more of what our environment is than this other side.
Yeah. Wow, that is beautiful, because the more we secure the life of man and make sure that where there are many risks involved, we utilize AI, then that's the good side of it.
Yeah.
And I believe even locally here on the planet, and in risky kind of discoveries and inventions, it is safer to do AI. I remember an occasion when some few guys got into a submarine called the Ocean Gate, and they tried to go to the undersea in the North Atlantic to see the wreckages of the Titanic. And they perished. I wish they could be able to send a robot there first to explore that kind of space before they could actually go and make their own exploration.
So that's the advantage that comes with this technology, because like we could assess some of the risks before we actually like take the risk and know how to mitigate when it happens. And I think based on the data points and based on the information we have been gathering as we have been exploring Moon, you have just seen the recent and unveiling on how it has happened in terms of how we have sent
the Artemis
2 to the Moon, and how
the
seamless
Orion
it was.
spacecraft and
like,
the 4 astronauts.
Like everything was laid out. It was like it's just execution. Like
actually, even from their departure time to the number of days they will spend in the space, to the path that it will take them to orbit out of Earth and back and around the Moon, and how far they will be from the Moon as they fly by, to the exact minute
they will be back.
They'll be splashing down at the Pacific off the coast of California. I think that was very precise.
Everything was calibrated and everything was like executed perfectly, because like we had that information, and those AI systems and those form of analysis were already done, and we knew like if these are the scenarios, this is the most probable pattern that's going to happen. Then it gives us capacity, or it gives us like leeway to do such adventurous activities that are very risky, but do it very precisely and have some of the results that we got.
Wow. We've got to wind down this conversation. For sure, there are many advantages that come with artificial intelligence, and we have seen the beautiful side of holding that power saw, especially when you give it to a carpenter. And we've recounted many progresses that we've made as a civilization of humanity, and also we have seen the negative side. And I think what maybe the next phase of artificial intelligence should do is to try and mitigate these challenges. I don't know, maybe if that is in the pipeline for the upgrade of this system, or maybe you would say the challenges, the negative sides are here with us to stay.
So the negative sides will always be here, but
they're here with us.
Yes, they will always be here, but how we are going to mitigate them is we are going to use the same system to mitigate the same system.
You use a thief to catch a thief.
Yes, precisely.
I heard Trump, when Trump was campaigning, he said that nobody understands the system better than I do, which is why I only can fix it. So I think nobody understands artificial intelligence better than AI itself, which is why only AI can fix this problem.
Exactly.
It's been a pleasure hosting Edmond Wabwire on this discussion on artificial intelligence today, looking at the good and the ugly side. And for sure, the good must outpace the bad. Thank you, Edmond Wabwire, for making time.
Thank you so much.
And for you, if you're not yet subscribed to this podcast, I'll encourage you to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Until next time, I am Rick Okinda, yours truly.